Blog Talk Radio.
Franchise pros, Stan the Man, Paul Segreto. Time to show you the way of franchising today. Hey, do you possess the spirit of an entrepreneur? Wanna lay your business plan down like a rug or a floor? Or maybe you have a dream of opening a chain of delis, or whatever passion lights that pilot light under your belly. Or do you want to start a business, fam, using the proven trademark from another brand? And grow together and expand like a rage of fire, from a single to a multi-unit empire. Well, pay attention to this podcast that you hear, streaming in HD, so fine-tune both of your ears. And Stan and Paul lays down the law. Whether you want to be a franchisee or a franchisor, it's all about sustainable growth, the sensible franchising, proven concepts, the smart enterprising. So use your left and right side of your brain and absorb this knowledge here, franchising today. Badlands, baby. Franchising today. Sustainable growth, the sensible franchising. Franchise today. Sustainable growth, the sensible franchising. Franchise today. Franchising today. Franchising today. Yeah.
Hello, everyone in franchise world. My name is Paul Segreto, and this is Franchise Today. Today is Wednesday, August 15th, 2018. We're in the middle of dog days of summer. It was nice to see technology working on our behalf today as we just listened to Badlands Booker and my great guest, co-host, I should say, Stan Friedman is with us from Hotlanta. Stan, how are you today?
Doing great, Paul. Doing great and enjoying some of the dog days of summer, actually, while it's staying pretty busy. And franchising is hot this summer, not just the temperature. But it's good to be on the ground and off an airplane for a week or two and getting some things done here in Atlanta on home base.
Yeah, there's been some crazy stuff going on in the air of late. I know you've had some storms down there. Actually, had to cancel an appointment of somebody coming in through Atlanta last week. Southwest Airlines has had some issues. Delta has had some issues. I'm kind of glad I'm on the ground right now.
Yeah, likewise. And, it's that time of year where pop-ups, especially in Texas, you guys get, I think you're having a rougher summer than we've had. And hopefully, all of that's going to be behind us in just a few more weeks. Labor Day weekend's around the corner.
Yeah, actually, the thing that's killed us this summer is this Saharan dust that has now circled the earth, 3 or 4 times. And
right,
the
no
other
sneezing.
day, you
no
couldn't
sneezing.
even see. Yeah, you couldn't see downtown. It was this red, eerie, foggy dust. It was horrible, and of course they've had health advisories because of poor air quality. But anyway, it makes it a little bit busy to get out there and be active. And of course, we have had a lot of quote-unquote activity on Franchise Today of late, and certainly today. If you've been too busy to make it to the gym, which is the title of today's show, as we bring on our guest, Josh York, the founder and CEO of GYMGUYZ. I mean, we've had a lot of activity in the fitness world, Stan.
We sure have, Paul, and, we should thank Shannon the Cannon Hudson, founder and CEO of 9 Round, our guest last week. We're about to talk with Josh York in just a few minutes with GYMGUYZ, the founder of GYMGUYZ, and in between those two, what do I pull off of the Smart Brief this week, just as I'm looking for things to chat about in the front of the house? Anytime Fitness, getting ready to open its 400th location, or opening 400 new locations this year, mostly international. This fitness space, Paul, some think it's crowded and some think that, another gym, really? Well, it's an $84 billion industry in the U.S. alone. And so, while the old big box gyms are still around, there are a whole many great different boutiques and ideas for smaller boxes and specialty workouts that guys like Shannon talked to us about last week, and we'll be hearing some more of that from Josh this week, whereby Josh doesn't make you come to him, but the gym comes to you. So it's going to be a pretty exciting opportunity for us to learn a little bit more about fitness on the road with Josh in just a few minutes, Paul. But before we bring Josh on, a couple of things for the front of the house. I picked up another piece in the Smart Brief that I would encourage everyone to read, and it's all about Gordon Logan and how his dedication to veterans, and Josh, I know, is a VetFran member as well. Great article on Gordon, and it's an interview actually in HistoryNet Vietnam Magazine. Gordon, of course, a Vietnam veteran and one of the forefront leaders of the VetFran initiative. And the greatest thing about it, Paul, while the interview was terrific, they got a caricature of Gordon that they captured, and it's on the front end of that article that is absolutely phenomenal. You can find it in the IFA Smart Brief or at HistoryNet/Vietnam Magazine. Terrific write-up and interview with everyone's favorite Gordon Logan. Hey, Paul, one other thing that I noticed this week, something again on leadership that I wanted to share. I saw a blog post by Glenn Elliott and Deborah Corey, and they are leaders in the world of leaders in the world of leadership research. And they came up with a survey of 350 millennials and asking them, what do you want and expect from your leaders? And I thought I'd just run these down real quickly because I frankly don't think that this is millennial. I think this is everyone should want these things, but this is what today's millennial is looking for from their employers in leadership. Number one, to own and live the company values. Number two, to communicate openly and early. Number three, to inspire people to reach higher. Number four, own their mistakes. Number five, recognize big wins, small wins, and hard work. Number six, trust people. Number seven, make the right decision, not the popular one. 8, add value to their teams and help them to succeed. Number 9, have the courage to be genuine and visible. And number 10, take care of people. Paul, I found something I can agree with millennials on. This is a great hit list.
Yes, it is. Absolutely, indeed.
And I know that we're going to hear about leadership from Josh today too, because I know it's a big part of his mantra. But go ahead and give your shout out, Paul, and I'll step back.
I just wanted to give 2 shout-outs. One of them has to do with leadership, and of course, that has to go out to Dina Dwyer Owens and the entire Dwyer Group team, as they've acquired yet another brand, Mosquito Joe's. That was announced yesterday, so that was exciting. And then also talking about leadership, I saw a beautiful picture on Facebook last night, Sean Goldsmith and Doc Cohen at Minute Maid Park, where they caught a foul ball, as he says, as Sean says, with the legend, of course, good friend of ours, Doc Cohen, as well. Love that, love the smiles on their faces. It is definitely epitomizes franchising both today as well as coming up behind us with somebody like Sean, who's just a fabulous addition to the franchise community.
Yeah, for the audience who doesn't know who Sean is, Sean was one of my first DECA. I mentored Sean, and he was one of the first Don DeBolt scholarship winners. I believe he was the second one, and he latched on to IFA and franchising, and for the 10 years since has continued to work in the franchise and franchise marketing space, and has become extremely close friends with Doc Cohen. In fact, for all the years I've known Doc, I don't think I've ever been to his house at all. I think Sean has stayed there 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, for sure. I know he has, and I don't see enough of Doc myself. We live a couple of miles from each other as the crow flies, and yet the only time we see each other is at the airport going to and from franchise events. Well, enough of that and enough of the sentiment. Great people. I read an interesting quote from today's guest, and it said, I love franchising because you have the ability to bring in entrepreneurs who are going to be part of your culture and go into your system with a blueprint and turn key operation so they can scale their own business and find their own success. And, of course, that's from Josh York, founder and CEO of GYMGUYZ. Josh, welcome to Franchise Today.
Earl, thank you so much for having me, guys. I'm really looking forward to it. Appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time out of your day to be here with us this morning, afternoon actually, on the East Coast, and hello to the West Coast as you're rubbing the sand out of your eyes. there's, as Stan says, so much going on in the fitness world, and so much going on in franchising today. And as we ask all our guests, Josh, we know franchising is not something we woke up one day and said, I think today I'm going to jump into franchising. It's usually something that somehow or another finds us along the way. So if you would, we're going to ask you to roll back the clock, go back as far as you would like in your career. Take us all the way from there up to the point where you said, you know what, franchising is my next step.
Absolutely. And, what you're going to learn about me is I'm extraordinary when it comes to vision. And this vision really started from day one. But, look, I've been in the fitness space my whole life. And it's funny how you talk about how crowded the gym space is, and we'll touch on that shortly. But I've always been into fitness. I loved helping people, loved changing lives. But the biggest problem in the trainer world is that every trainer wants to clone themselves. And although everyone used to, classify me as a trainer, I was really an entrepreneur. But, look, I went to college, got my bachelor's degree, left college, figured I had to get a 9-to-5 job. That's what you're supposed to do. And I'm very big on being a realist, always, taking a situation and making it exciting and fun. And I'm working in an office for a boss. And I tell every single one of our franchise family members, I don't call any of our franchisees. We're all about a family. And, of course, everyone says, oh, we have the best family and culture. But this is we're living in real life here. Like, this really is what it's all about. And I was working for a boss, and I tell all of our family members, as well as anyone who I've mentored or any other podcasts or interviews I've done, is you want to be a leader, not a boss. And when you're a leader, there's a whole different type of energy and environment that really is instilled into your daily life. Because the fact of the matter is, 85-90% of people drive to work every day committing spiritual suicide. They hate their job. They stare at the clocks all day. I literally had a friend of mine break down his Sunday for me, and he's telling me around 7 o'clock at night he develops severe anxiety. He has to go to work Monday. Then he gets to work. He tries to, tell himself he just has to get to Wednesday, and he's halfway there. Then Friday comes, and woohoo, right? The weekend's here. Now imagine when you spend 70% of your life working, you have to live your life like that. That's horrible. So that's where I was working in this, marketing firm. And I said, you know what? I'm all about positivity. I take negative signs, I slice them down the center, I make them a positive, and I said, let me go back into training. It's what I love to do. I can't be in this type of environment anymore. One day, one of my clients came in late and said, Josh, I wish you can come to me. I just don't have any equipment. And that's when the whole idea kind of came about. And I said, how great would it be if I could get a van, stock it with all the equipment? And I kept thinking about the big picture, right? And I kept thinking about, where's this going to go? And I said, I started thinking of other brands that do it corporately and open stores. And since we're really disrupting the whole entire industry, because, again, look, we live in an Amazon world. Everything's about convenience. And at the time I said, well, I love the franchise model. And I started doing some more research about it because I was like, you could bring in great people, right? Entrepreneurs, or people like to say refer some franchisees as entrepreneurs. But I really truly believe, and this was part of my goal from day one, is I want to be able to help, people just change their lives. Because we're really not in the fitness business. We're in the people business. And I mean changing from the entrepreneurial side and changing from the client side, making a difference. So I said, how great would it be if you could surround yourself with great people that provide value? And then I started digging in more and looking into McDonald's and found out that some of the greatest things on the menus were, created by franchise owners. So I said, you know what, I'm going to start this business. I literally depleted every single penny I had. I left myself with $1,000 to literally cover expenses for 2 weeks, and I went all in. It was extremely scary, but I did it. But I believe, right? And I seen the vision from day one, and I said, I'm going to perfect this model, be the first to do it, be the first to create this category. People laughed at me. I actually created a holiday. It's actually on August 1st. It's called National Swiss Cheese Day. Because back in the day, when I used to do some training, I had a very successful entrepreneur, and this is actually in my book. I talk about this. He told me my business was like Swiss cheese and will never succeed. It has too many holes. And so I created a holiday after that. And believe it or not, this successful entrepreneur actually, apologized to me 2 years ago. But, I said from day one, this is what I'm going to do, and this is how we're going to do it. And here we are today. Franchise Gator ranked as the fastest growing franchise, not fitness, franchise brand in the world, which is obviously a great accomplishment. And, we've been listed, of growing faster than any other fitness concept in history. And it's really because of the disruption. It's because of there's no brick and mortar, right? There's obviously very easy to scale. Your expenses are super low. Your profit margins are super high. And everyone wants convenience. And that's why we bring the workout to you.
So I want to clear up some myths about GYMGUYZ, or I'll ask Josh to actually clear it up, because many people think that because you're called GYMGUYZ, you're just a guy's gym. Why don't you tell the audience what that GUYZ is an acronym for and clear that myth up immediately?
Yeah, so GUYZ is an acronym that stands for genuine, unique, you can do it, zero excuses. And you can look at the largest brands in the world, and I can go through lists of names of, why, you have, Molly Made and it's not Mitchell Made, and why you have Burger King and it isn't Burger Queen. And, we can keep going on and shouting out all these brands, but it's about what sticks, right? What's like really something that just rolls off your tongue and is powerful. GYMGUYZ is powerful. It's an actual fact. We have more female franchise owners than males. We have more female clients than males. Everything's about being different. And if you want to really get to that next level and you want to really have crazy growth, you need to be different. And I could touch shortly on, what's the secret to our success, because everyone wants to know.
Well, I think that's a great idea, because we really want to talk first about the brand from the consumer's point of view and the value proposition that you provide for the consumer before we get into the franchise side of the business. So, sure, go ahead and unpack that for us.
So you want me to touch on, you said, the consumer side?
Sure, yep.
Sure. Yep. So on the consumer side, look, people are always going to want to look good, feel good, and change themselves, right? That's a fact. That's not going anywhere. And the greatest thing about where we're doing when we talk about disruption, no matter what changes come, and I always think 5 years ahead, robots can't replace what we do. Human interaction is never going anywhere. The bulk of our clients are female. And you can ask any female will they ever get their hair cut by a robot? And the answer is going to be no. And the answer is no, because everything's about relationship. That's why I keep going back to saying we're in the people business. People don't care about the name GYMGUYZ. People don't care about our van. People don't care about what equipment we use. People care about the relationship you build. And that's why I always say, if you want to really be successful at selling, stop selling. Start building relationships. And at the end of the day, people need to get in the time of working out. Some people don't have the experience. Believe it or not, a lot of our clientele still go to the gym. They'll still take a kickboxing class. I'm good friends with Shannon at 9 Round. I know they'll go to him to take a kickboxing class. Some will go take a spin class. The reason they're using us is for our 3 C's: convenient, customized, and creative workouts, and the fact that we're coming to them. We make it affordable. There's no membership fees. It's based on, obviously packages. You're getting your individualized program that's designed for you. So during your first visit, which is free, you get 3 assessments: a body assessment, a nutritional assessment, and a fitness assessment. So we're really finding out more about you, your skeletal muscle, your body mass index, your visceral fat. We're going through nutrition. We're going to put you through a brief fitness assessment to see where you are level-wise. And then from there, we are actually customizing a program for you. And that's what's great. But on the flip side to the consumer, maybe some want to do it in a group. They want to have that interaction, a social experience. That's why we work with large corporations. We do a lot of team events. We have the marketing department against the finance department. We have just people that just call us at businesses and they want to work out with 5 or 6 of their friends, in the conference room during lunch, or we do it outdoors. Scalability of this is great because we're working people out in their home, office, pool, park, place of worship. We've done workouts in pizzerias, parking lots. We've literally pulled over on the side of the road because someone was in traffic and got them a workout right there on the spot. By the time the workout was over, no traffic, and they were able to go home, and they got their workout in. And that's what's great. We're bringing convenience to them. We bring the workout to you. Our vans are loaded with 365 pieces of equipment. We like to break it down, one for each day of the year. And it's just a great workout. We make it different. We make it creative. It's fun. It's exciting. We had over 9,000 pounds lost last year. I could tell you stories that literally I start talking, it gives me goosebumps. Like I'll give you an example, and you can see this story on our YouTube channel. Young boy, his name is John Pike. I ended up getting this story in People magazine. Suffered from depression. He lost his father. He's been homeschooled his whole life. He would never leave his home. He ate fast food every single day, and one day his aunt really pushed him, and he decided to make a change. He called us. Within 6 months, he lost 100 pounds. Last year, he actually graduated with his high school class. He just finished his first year of college. He has a girlfriend. And when I went out there to do an interview for him, he came up to me crying and hugged me and said, "Thank you for starting this." Do you know how powerful that is? That's what we do. We change lives. And that's pretty much an overview from the consumer side.
So let's talk about the consumer experience, because it's got to be a completely different paradigm. I mean, you just rattled off a number of different scenarios that in my mind's eye I never would have dreamed of. But I do remember seeing a GYMGUYZ van as I pulled up to Maggiano's here in Atlanta for a meeting of the Southeast Franchise Forum. There was a GYMGUYZ van in their parking lot. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, this must be the franchisee eating lunch. But from what you're describing, you're actually doing group sessions for companies and for meetings and for organizations together all at once. I mean, I can't even fathom that. That's you talk about disruptive. That is out of the box, outside the box.
It is. And look, we're number one in home personal training. That's the bulk of our business. I'd say about 60% of it, but the other 40 is all split up, all across the board, and that's great what we do. And I actually know whose fan that was and what he was doing, but we actually work with that organization. So, we train all their employees, and we do that with a lot of different businesses. And at the end of the day, when you look at it from a business perspective, if you're an owner and you're trying to save on health care insurance, let's say you want to switch to like an HSA plan or one of those high deductible plans or whatever it is, when you have healthy people who are happy, and you take stress out of their life, because some people need to get their workout in, but they're like, oh my God, I got 2 kids at home, I got to get home and cook, I got to pick this one up, I got my husband coming home, or vice versa, or whatever it may be. That's overwhelming. But if you think about it, and if you're a smart owner, we live and die off culture. Our culture here is indescribable, and I could tell you stories about things we've done and game-changing things we've made happen because of culture. But the fact is, people actually, there's a stat out there that almost 95% of people waste about 30% of their day, which roughly could be a couple hours, working on non-work related tasks. But when you have a boss, and there's a boss in place, and it's like, you're 5 minutes late, get off your phone. Do not look at Facebook online. Well, what does that do? That does absolutely nothing, because the fact of the matter is it's going to happen anyway. And if you have a policy of no cell phones, well, what's going to happen? People are going to sneak calls anyway. But if you started adding in working out, an hour of your time, first of all, people crash and burn in the afternoon. People get tired after lunch. They're not as productive. They're falling asleep. Well, jack them up with some energy. Get a workout in. Get people excited. Make it a team event, team build within, build camaraderie within your organization. That's what it's about. And if you can have an exciting, fun organization where you take that job word and crush it, and you make it about loving what you do, we don't call this work or a job. We call it a lifestyle. I have people that come back from honeymoons that can't wait to come back to work. You tell me when you ever hear something like that.
So, Josh, let's talk for a second from a practical standpoint, because I think many of our listeners that aren't aware of the concept might be thinking about what it might be like to have a van show up at their house. Let's talk about, a one-on-one training.
Sure.
I've seen the van, on the website in front of a beautiful house. Can't picture in my mind what's inside that van, what it would be like carrying stuff in and to actually do a workout in the house. So if you would, just take us to that fundamental step-by-step process of what a customer can expect.
First of all, you're going to get the most professional experience you could ever possibly imagine. For those of you who are familiar with the NPS score, it's a Net Promoter Score.
Right.
Score that rates your business from the consumer. And for those who don't know, anywhere between 60 and 70, 75 is like absolutely superb. Like, I believe Costco's at a 65. I believe Amazon's at a 69. We've been at a 91 for a very long time, almost 2 years now. We provide exceptional professional service, and it even comes down to how we answer our phones. We don't answer the phones, hello, GYMGUYZ. We answer the phone, thank you for calling GYMGUYZ. This is Josh speaking. How can I brighten your day? And you know where I picked that up? I picked that up from Disney, because if you call Disney, they answer the phone, how can I make your day magical? And I was like, wow. That kind of like made me kind of like, get a little tinkle in my belly. And I was like, wow, that's really exciting. We do everything different. So the van shows up. First of all, our equipment is so clean you could literally eat your breakfast, lunch, or dinner off any piece of equipment, let alone in the back of our van. Cleanliness is number one most important when it comes to inside that vehicle. Now, what we're bringing in, like I said, we have 365 pieces of equipment, but it's going to really vary based on the individual. If we're working with a senior, if we're working with a child, if we're doing sports training, we have everything from resistance bands to weights to body bars to yoga to Pilates, to core strengthening to explosive, agility training to sports endurance, from pool workouts. I can keep going on, and we have everything in that vehicle. So based on what we're bringing in for that workout that day, we're going to arrive about 5 minutes early. We're going to set everything up depending on where it is. We also like to constantly change, and we always say no two workouts are ever the same. So we could be working out in your living room. One day take it downstairs. One day take it to your garage. It's nice out. Let's go in the backyard. Let's take it in the driveway. Let's invite a friend over. We're constantly changing it up. And I'll give you a quick story to talk about how our 3 C's come in. Again, that's convenient, customizing, creative. Creative. I had a mother call us a couple of years ago. Her son needed to lose weight. Hates working out, loves playing the guitar. We based his whole workout routine around a guitar. Everything we did with his workout was a guitar. And let me tell you, he lost 75 pounds. It's about being creative, and that's what we do. So we're coming in there for an hour. We're giving you a great workout. You have a choice of great music. You're with a great professional. All of our trainers are nationally certified. They're all going through GYMGUYZ University training as far as customer service and, from handshaking someone to eye contact to how someone has to present themselves to smell to dress. We go through everything. You want to talk about being buttoned up? Our whole entire system is as tight as it gets. You can't even make it any tighter. And that's why we really pride ourselves in that, because we're very, very serious about providing exceptional service, because we want an exceptional experience that everyone can obviously, have the opportunity to enjoy.
Globally, there are more than 180,000 fitness clubs around the U.S. estimated to have earned $84 billion from their 145 million members. And now the gym comes to you. I'm Stan Friedman along with Paul Segreto, and we're talking today with Josh York, entrepreneur, author, founder, and franchisor of the GYMGUYZ. Franchise Today is brought to you by the Franchise Foundry, where Paul Segreto and his team have been bringing emerging brands to market for more than 30 years. The Franchise Foundry offers sustainable growth for their clients, the kind that comes from experience. The Foundry provides both coaching and consulting that delivers more effective solutions for both the franchisor's corporate team as well as for their franchisees. The Franchise Foundry team is rich in practical, hands-on experience and expertise with general business management, operational and change management, digital marketing, and, of course, franchise recruitment and development. Plus, the Foundry team can also assist with creating roadmaps for potential mergers and acquisitions and provide all the guidance needed to navigate them. You can learn more about Paul Segreto and the Franchise Foundry, along with their expanding list of clients, at www.franchisefoundry.com.
Franchise Today is also brought to you by FRM Solutions, offering best-in-class CRM and document management software designed specifically for franchising. FRM empowers real-time business intelligence, communication, and collaboration between all members of the franchisor's team and prospective, as well as existing franchisees. This enables you to seamlessly and simply track, access, and manage all messages to and from prospective and existing franchisees, including text. Legal and compliance is simplified as well with FRM's document management, and even site visits can be digitally facilitated and scored with FRM. Make today you give FRM a look and assure that all of your candidates and franchisee correspondence, including test messages, are being permanently tracked and stored in candidate and franchisee records. FRM even provides state-of-the-art digital experiences for your prospective franchisees, replacing old-style virtual brochures. No long-term contracts, multiple upgrades each year at no additional cost. No excuses, just solutions. Check out Stan Friedman and his team on the web at frmsolutions.com.
So, Josh, before we get into the franchise side of the business, I want to make certain, again, that we make mention of your book, Fuel, What It Takes to Survive as an Entrepreneur. And from 2008 to today, where you're just launching in every possible direction, tell us where you found the time to publish and write a book.
Let me tell you something. Everyone's got excuses, but you just got to take action. I just have actions all just literally sitting in my pocket all day. I'm up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't drink coffee. I got enough energy that I could literally, New York City can go completely dark, and you plug it into me, and we'll light up that whole city like you've never seen before. But you know what? I just make time. There's always time. Yes, I'm busy. I get hundreds and hundreds of emails a day, but I constantly make it happen. Every day, honestly, I just write a little bit, write more. I do a lot of it early in the morning when I like to sit in a sauna. That's where like my meditating zone where kind of focus and think. So I used to do a lot of it in there. And, I made it happen.
So tell us about the book. I mean, what's it like? Is it talking more about your personal journey, or is it helping others guide themselves toward a journey of their own?
Yeah, there's a lot of nuggets in there. It's it's a little bit about my journey. It's a little bit about the struggles. It kind of gives a little bit of a roadmap. Look, to be quite honest with you, I did it. I was like, all right, if I can sell 50 to 100 books, I'll be great. I sold 5,000 books in 4 weeks. I couldn't even believe it. I was blown away by that. I actually thought it was a mistake when I read it. It sold out on Amazon already 4 times. It's a great story. I made it very quick and short. It's a short read. The Audible is going to be coming out in a couple of weeks. I'm almost done with it. It's only like 2.5 hours Audible. It's quick, but you'll get a lot of nuggets out of it. And obviously, I plan to write more, so I want to just kind of give a little taste of it. But the problem is, people never look at what it took to get there. People always look at the finished product. And I wanted to really paint a vision of how bad it was, because I could tell you stories that will give you instant ulcers on this phone call of what I've gone through to get to where we are today. There's been some crazy times. I've had more negatives in my bank account over the years than you could possibly imagine. It is not easy. This is not an easy game to play. But if you want to play it, you got to become obsessed. You have to be so obsessed, and you have to have a vision, and you have to truly cold-heartedly believe that you can make it happen. That's what it takes to be different. And I believe from day one, no matter how many people told me it would never work, no matter how many people laughed at me, I made it happen. And in 15, 20 years, look, I always say, our vision is to be the largest, fitness brand in the world. It's not a vision, it's a guarantee. In 15, 20 years, you remember us having this conversation, we will be the largest fitness brand on this planet. That is a fact. And no one is going to ever stop us. Just can't. It's just not going to happen. If you're going to compete against me, you're going to lose. It's just that simple, because I will go above and beyond. I will put in more work. If you're going to run a mile, I'll run 2. If you're going to do 10 push-ups, I'll do 20. If you're going to write a paper, I'm going to write 3. It's about working like someone's trying to take it from you. It's that simple.
Wow, true entrepreneurship. I'll definitely look forward to reading the book. I've just been on Amazon, and I'll be doing that as soon as I get off. Really interesting, your background, what you've done to get to this point, and you've always had this vision, and I love what it says on the website. When you say that vision was, I like to call it our guarantee, that will be the largest fitness brand in the world in the next 15 years. And, of course, you just backed that up by saying it again. But the thing that really catches my eye, and it's right there on the first page of your franchise website, where it says, put it in drive, we're changing people's lives. And I've also seen some things online of your fight against obesity down in the Texas Valley, where the rate of obesity amongst children is quite high. I mean, it always seems to be, from what you're saying and what I'm reading online, is about changing people's lives. So now you have franchise candidates coming into the system, and obviously you're also changing their lives with this type of powerful culture that you've successfully created. Tell us what you look for in a franchise candidate as they knock on your door, call you, email you, whatever, and say, I'm interested in your franchise opportunity.
Yes, absolutely. So the first thing we do is, we want to make sure that they're right fit. We have a very detailed process. We do not, I will be very clear, we do not sell franchises. We do not sell franchises. We award them. And I'm very serious about that. If the first initial call I have with a possible, franchise family member, if I ask myself, would I have this person over at my house for dinner, and the answer is no, we won't even move forward. It's that simple. You got to have a connection. If you want to be the greatest, you got to surround yourself with great people. So it's very important. I'm looking for people who are hungry, driven, not willing to, afraid to get their hands dirty, roll up their sleeves. You got to put effort into this. Anyone who's succeeded in life has put hard work in. The greatest thing about it, look, I haven't trained anyone in 6 years. Our corporate locations run by themselves. I'm not even involved in it anymore. It becomes a passive business after a couple of years, but you got to put the work in. It's like I hear people tell me, I was going to go to law school. I should have done. No, what'd you do the last 3-4 years? Just do it. Look, there's a video I watched a long time ago by Art Williams, and this is actually where Nike got their slogan. It's called Just Do It. Literally, just do it. Too many people complain. Too many people make excuses. Too many people are scared. If you're going to say something, back it up and make it happen. It's that simple. Whatever I say, it's pretty much a guarantee because it's going to happen. And I'm very creative with things I've done over the years, and I position ourselves for this for a certain reason. But, going back to that candidate, the secret to our success, we love acronyms here. That's the biggest thing. We literally have a gas tank that sits in our office for fuel, and I'll touch on that in a second. And we have our core values, which is drive. You cannot drive without fuel. Those are the two most important components of our business model. Drive is determination, respect, integrity, versatility, and excellence. Every single person has to embody those and obviously align with them. And fuel, this is what's taking us to be the best. This is what's driven our success. There's no secret code. There's no secret we're doing. It's fun, unity, earnings, and leadership. And if you look at each one of those components, can you run a business without fun? You can, but I'll tell you right now, no one's going to want to be part of it. You want to talk about fun things we do? Look us up on the internet. You'll see tons of videos. We have so much fun, from the amount of belly laughs we've had here to just hanging out. Like, we just have a blast. Unity, right? Teamwork makes the dream work. If there's no teamwork, it's not going to work. Earnings, well, if you're not making money, that's not going to work. And leadership. If you're not a leader, it will never, ever work. I always lead by example. I'm not better than anyone else. So what? I'm the founder and CEO. Titles have to be in place from an organizational perspective, but at the end of the day, you have to understand something. If people are nervous to talk to you or they're not uncomfortable around you and you set yourself up to be a boss, you will lose. Everything's about challenging each other. It's about communication. It's about working together as one. I always say we are one. We are blessed and we are united because we're doing the impossible. And my famous quote, the famous quote is my favorite of all time. It's kind of fun to do the impossible, from Walt Disney. And let me tell you, a long time ago, they told Walt Disney, hey, sorry, but you're fired. You can't work at this newspaper because you don't have an imagination.
Disney's famous for another quote that I've always loved, which is hire the attitude, train the skill. How do you bring
100%.
People into your organization, Josh, that can hit the kind of watermark that I hear with you? Because passion is certainly reigning supreme in everything that's coming across the airwaves here today.
Absolutely. Look, I have a crazy talent for I just get this feeling. I can't even explain it to you. I just get it. I just know. It's crazy, and our retention rate is so high. It's almost 100%. There's just look. I do believe, and you'll hear this all the time: hire, slow, fire, quick. You need to definitely do that. That's 100%. If I don't think someone's good, they're gone. But it's like kind of like an intuition I have. But again, I always start with that first question: would I have this person over my house for dinner? And if the answer is no, then I'm not moving forward. But you got to feel it. You got to see it in their eyes. There's a lot of different things I do. I'll make, if it's a potential person that we're bringing on board, I'll always tell them no matter what, I can't talk the first call. Call me tomorrow at 12:02. If they don't call me at 12:02, done. That's it. There's other things I'll do. I want someone who's on point, who's sharp, who understands this is an opportunity of a lifetime. Whether you're being part of our family here at corporate or whether you're going to be in our franchise system, this is an opportunity of a lifetime. We are disrupting the industry. We're changing the game, and that's really what it comes down to.
So let's talk about a candidate who gets in touch. What are they experiencing? How does this process work?
Oh, absolutely. So pretty much what they're doing is, they're going to start reaching out they'll be speaking to one of our development, team members. So they're going to start that process. They're going to have, literally a 6-step process they're going to go through. Towards the end, at step 5, they'll get a chance to have a call with myself, and we'll speak and give them a little history on the company, open up for any questions they may have, And I'm really, again, I told you, we don't sell franchises. The first thing I tell them is you can fail this business. I tell everyone that. If you do not follow the system, you will fail. If you think the door is going to open and automatically leads are just going to be flowing in, you're going to fail. We don't wait for the phones to ring. We make the phones ring. Yes, we have a blueprint. We have a turnkey operation. Marketing's in place, so on and so forth. Leads are going to come, but it's about driving your business. It's about people. Get out there. Connect with people. It's that simple. And I'll give you a perfect example. We had a team barbecue last week. I called up the park to make sure, if we needed a permit. Spoke to a girl. I could tell she was young. She says, you're all good. So we show up at the park. We're going to play some volleyball, barbecue, hang out. We got some music, drinks, a lot of fun. All of a sudden, all the people at the park, like the officials, the town officials, start looking at us. I'm like, oh, my God, we definitely can't be here. So they come up to us, and right away you could tell like they were like angry. Now, they were very angry. And I handled the situation in a real great way, and I built a relationship within literally 25, 30 seconds. And the outcome of it was we were able to stay there, and everything was okay, and it was all good. And that goes to tying into the same thing that we're looking for, someone who can connect with people. That's what it's about. And this is a great opportunity if you want to make a difference. We make a difference. And that's why when I lay my head down every night on my pillow, I feel fantastic. And people say, well, what keeps you up at night, Josh? Nothing keeps me up at night. Because when you have problems, put this in your mind. This too shall pass. Trust me, it will. Pain is temporary. It can last for a minute. It can last for an hour. It will subside.
Can you talk to us about what a day in the life of a franchisee would look like? What's the primary thing that your franchisees have to do themselves, if there is one, or what things can be delegated? How does their day look?
Absolutely. Well, we have two models. We have the owner model and we have the owner-operator. So if you're the owner-operator, you're pretty much doing a lot of, everything, right? You're wearing a lot of different hats. And obviously, as you start growing, and it happens pretty quickly, you can start hiring people and start pushing some things off. And those would be typically like trainers turn entrepreneurs, and we don't have many of them. Most of them are owners. So it's based on how they're set up. But we want the owner to focus on what's their strength. Is it sales? Is it marketing? Is it connecting? Is it operational stuff? And then other than that, everything else, you're going to build a team around that, build a great team, make sure you instill drive, you instill fuel, you have the culture in place, because at the end of the day, remember, culture eats strategy for breakfast. And you put that team in place, and then, we start opening up the doors, and you start driving the vans and following our strategies, and next thing you know, you got 5, 10, 15, 20 clients. You have 20 clients, that's a lot of clients. And that's the greatest thing about our business is you don't need a lot of people, because people are trained 2 to 5 days a week. And at the end of the day, next thing you know, you're training Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and now you're training their kids, and now you're training the neighbor. But it all starts with relationships, and that's how it works.
Tell us a little bit about the financial model. What type of investment? I know you mentioned, 2 different models. What type of investment is there? And can franchisees from the start, go from single unit to multi-unit?
Absolutely. So, all in one territory, you're looking around $75,000. If you want to go in 3 territories, you're looking closer to like $175,000, $180,000. As far as, if you're going to go on the owner route and you're going to obviously hire some people, you're probably going to need like another $20,000, $25,000 just to have for some operating capital for the first couple months. But it's a very low investment. It's not, not much money, and we have 95% of our people have made their money back in their first year, which is really unheard of. And we've had people that have made their money back in 3 months. And I'm not saying anyone who's listening to this can do this. Can it be done? Absolutely. But it's all about what you put into it.
And I understand that you recently entered an international market. Is that correct?
Yes, we have. So we launched in Canada, and we're actually right now finalizing everything. We're going to be launching in the United Kingdom, so we're really excited about that. We've been getting a lot of inquiries overseas. We have something we're working on in Saudi Arabia. We have something we're working on in Dubai. So you're going to start seeing some real big international expansion from us. And internationally, believe it or not, we have a lot more opportunity to grow internationally than we do here in the United States, because it's just there's so much opportunity out there. It's really exciting.
Do you want to talk all about your? I'm sorry, Paul. I was just going to ask if Josh wanted to make mention at all of his financial performance representation, your item 19.
Oh yeah, sure. Item 19 is absolutely phenomenal. We're showing roughly, in a one location, it's ranging. I think the numbers. I don't have the exact number. It's like 350,000, and your profit margin is at 52%, and that's after expenses and royalties and everything. And that's with one territory. We don't show, obviously, any classes there because, once you start adding in classes, which is really the part that becomes extremely lucrative, the numbers don't even look real. Because at the end of the day, remember, you don't have a lot of expenses. So obviously the opportunity to make money here is phenomenal, but you just got to put the work in. That's it. And then obviously you get more territories, you have more opportunity. And again, getting a van is very easy. You don't have to have a brick and mortar where you have to build out a location and you have to negotiate a lease and then you're locked in. And, And that's why I never liked that model, and people always told me I was a fool to start this and it would never work and you should have people come to you. Like, why would you want to have people come to you when you're only going to get a certain amount of mile radius within an area that someone's going to actually drive to you? I was never a fan of that.
So you mentioned about having classes. Share with our audience what that looks like, especially as you said, they're quite lucrative.
Absolutely. Well, classes can range. They're super cheap, and the more people you have, the lower the price goes. We have some classes people are paying $5, $10 a person. We have a class in a hospital facility. We go inside the garage, which is all enclosed, so we could do it in the summer or winter. There's 70, 80 people that show up to that class, and it's phenomenal. Yes, you're not getting the individualized one-on-one attention, but from those classes, then we'll get people that say, hey, I want to work out with my wife or husband. I'd like to take some individual classes and sessions as well. And those are great. We make it fun. We make it for all levels of or abilities, regardless of age. So that's great, and it's just fun and exciting. And we even work with young kids too. You look, the average demographic for our client is female between really 40 and 55. But again, we work with, we do camps with young kids that are 3, 4 years old. We go all the way to senior centers. We have a senior right now, is 102 years old. This woman can plank for 3.5 minutes, which is absolutely unbelievably amazing. And I don't know if you're familiar with what a plank is, but it's similar. Mm-hmm. It's similar like a push-up position, but you're resting on your forearms. Try it for a minute. It's not very easy, but so that's pretty much on that situation.
So what's your outlook for the brand, for the franchise, for the franchisees? Let's look out, cast that net out 5 or 10 years.
Well, I'll tell you, we're going to keep making a lot of noise. I like to work hard in, silence and let the success make the noise, but a lot of people are starting to really find out about us. We just got listed today in the Inc. 500, which is super exciting, at number 292. They also did a story in there on us, which is exciting. They actually, told me my energy is at the same level as Tony Robbins, so later I'm going to have to put out a post about Tony and give him a little challenge because, I don't know, I think I might give him a run for his money. But, at the end of the day, we will be the largest fitness brand on this planet, you mark my words. And at the end of the day, our goal is to continue helping people. And that's both on the entrepreneurial side and that's on the client side. And that's our goal, and that's what we're going to keep doing. And, we want to make sure people are happy and they're smiling and they're feeling good, looking good, and saying, hey, I could be in Hollywood.
It's interesting, when I first saw the name GYMGUYZ, and it's all capitalized, spending as much time as I do in the social space, when you capitalize something, you're basically screaming out. But after listening to you today, I can see why GYMGUYZ is capitalized. I mean, you're screaming out with an unbelievable passion, all around, convenient, customized, and creative workouts. Just a tremendous, tremendous experience.
Absolutely.
Josh,
thank you for that.
We don't want to let you go today without asking if you've got any upcoming expos, seminars, places that you're going to be where people can firsthand get a look at what it's all about.
Absolutely. Well, to be quite honest with you, we have a lot of travel coming up with new locations, and really the best way to learn more about us is visiting our website, which is gymguys.com, and we actually just launched our brand new website, our franchise development site, which is gymguysfranchise.com, but you obviously can click a franchise link through the main site. That's something we're going to be working on next. We're going to be redoing, but that's really the best place to get some information. But I'd say just be on the lookout and just, if you don't follow us because we're going to be making a lot of noise out there, and it's super exciting. And, if there's anyone that's obviously interested in the opportunity, we're looking forward to speaking with you.
That's great. Well, we thank you for taking the time out of your day. I know you were busy this morning. You were on the call early with us. It was a great pleasure speaking with you. And if anybody missed that, it's gymguysfranchise.com. Some interesting things on line 2 on the blog portion of that site. Take a look, gymguysfranchise.com. Josh, thank you again for being our guest today.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you guys for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Hey, I'm off to take a quick shower. You warmed me out. Your energy is like nothing. You told me this. You warned me this. You told me that you're going to be the most exciting, high-energy guest we've ever had on our podcast. And you're walking the talk, Josh. You're walking the talk.
Yep. I agree.
I appreciate that, guys. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I mean, that means a lot to me. Thank you.
Thanks. Well, Stan, another show about fitness. Probably should have done this
What
at the
energy,
beginning
man.
of summer. Maybe, tremendous energy. Or maybe more people, if we did it at the beginning of summer, would have gotten their swimsuit physique in order. Yours truly included. But anyway, hey, better late than never. I mean, great energy, unbelievable energy. I love the Noakes type of attitude. It was interesting. Here I was, titling the show, Too Busy to Make It to the Gym. Hey, too busy to do what you want to do. Bull crap. Get it done. I love his energy. Great energy.
I talked to him on the phone last week and getting this all online for today, and he told me on the phone, he said, you know what, I'm up, and he said it today too, I'm up every day at 3 a.m. It doesn't matter what time I went to bed. If I made it to bed at 8 or 9, great, but if I went to bed at 2:15 in the morning, I'm still up at 3. And I said, you got to be kidding. He said, I'm kidding nothing. Nothing about me and my life is kidding anyone. This is who I am. This is the life I live, and this is the way I live it. And the people who join us are going to roll with that as the way we go. And I mean, I believe it. This guy's got more energy than any 10 people that I know, and what a better business model for that level of energy than fitness.
Oh, no doubt whatsoever. I love the title to his book, Fuel. I think that's just absolutely dynamic. What it takes to survive as an entrepreneur. Love the preview of the book. It says, everyone has a dream, but too often we let the rest of our life get in the way of our dreams. Oh my God, nothing could be truer. Just really epitomizes entrepreneurship, and as you said, talks the talk and definitely walks the walk. Well, that's another show in the books for Franchise Today. Stan, why don't you give us an intro into next week's show?
I was about to ask you to do the same thing. So next week, we're fortunate to have Ray Titus with us, aren't we? Isn't that next week?
Yep.
And Ray, Ray is the founder of many brands and the CEO of many more with the United Franchise Group. But this is going to be a departure. Ray is never shy to talk about himself or his businesses, but next week, Ray's focus is going to be all about his commitment to the Titus Franchise Center at Palm Beach Atlantic University, the amount of incredible investment he's made in trying to make franchising a more intentional way of life. As you and I open every week together, we always muse, Paul, about how, franchising finds us. Franchising is not as intentional for people to embark upon a career in the franchise space. And Ray's commitment to the Palm Beach Atlantic University and the Titus Franchise Center is to further develop a curriculum, which is well underway with Dr. John Hayes as the titled professor. And we're going to be graduating larger classes each year at Palm Beach Atlantic of students that are going to get business degrees with a concentration in franchising. And the hope is that more and more of these graduates coming through the program are going to be embarking on their careers intentionally, beginning in the world of franchising. The classes that have been graduating with the stated intent of I'm getting into the franchise business when I'm through with school. And so we're on the front step of all this. I'm proud to be a part of the advisory board that is working with Ray and John Hayes and further developing future plans for the Titus Center. In January, there'll be a program that's going to bolt on to the Fort Lauderdale Franchise Expo South. It's going to be a franchise sales boot camp, and Ray will be here to talk all about the Titus Center, all about the boot camp, and all about his commitment to leaving franchising as a much better way of life than he found it when he began for his son AJ and for generations to follow. That's all next week, Paul. It's going to be a great program.
And then the following week, returning to Franchise Today, although in a different role, will be a good friend of ours, Steve Greenbaum. So I look forward to that. Stan, every week, my 4-year-old granddaughter listens to Franchise Today. She gets a little button on her iPad. her podcasts, and she really does. My daughter looked back in the back seat when they said, "Who are you listening to?" And she said, "I'm listening to Pop and some other guy." But anyway, she doesn't call it franchising. She calls it energizing. And I think today's show epitomizes that with, Josh York being on, because the energy level was high, and hopefully we are energizing your day and week ahead. Until next week, my name is Paul Segreto, wishing you the best, the very best, on this great, great thing we call energizing. Nope, we call it franchising. Franchise today is
Franchise Pros, Stan the Man, Paul Segreto. Time to show you the way of franchising today. Hey, do you possess the spirit of an entrepreneur? Or lay your business plan down like a rug or a floor? Or maybe you have a dream of opening a chain of delis, or whatever passion lights that pilot light under your belly. Or do you want to start a business, fam, using the proven trademark from another brand? And grow together and expand like a rage of fire, from a single to a multi-unit empire. Well, pay attention to this podcast that you hear streaming in HD, so fine-tune both of your ears. And Stan and Paul lays down the law. Whether you want to be a franchisee or a franchisor, it's all about sustainable growth, the sensible franchising, proven concepts, the smart enterprising. So use your left and right side of your brain and absorb this knowledge here, franchising today. Badlands, baby. Franchising today. Sustainable growth, the sensible franchising. Franchise today. Sustainable growth, the sensible franchising. Franchising today. Franchising today. Franchising today.
When you're part of a military family, you understand sacrifice and support. So at American Public University, we honor your dedication by extending our military tuition savings to your extended family. Parents, spouses, legal partners, siblings, and dependents all qualify for APU's preferred military rate of just $250 per credit hour for undergraduate and master's level programs. American Public University. Value for the whole family. Learn more at apu.apus.edu/military.